Hey, so I just finished Surviving the Aftermath, which is a game for PC. At least I played it on PC. It's a real-time strategy game where you have to uh, build a colony with some survivors and inhabitants in a post-apocalyptic world, and you have to defend against bandits, and you have to collect resources. I did not enjoy it. I thought the game was dull, and I kept fighting with the residents because they were like keep being hungry, but they wouldn't do work, and they kept complaining, and there was always a lack of them. You build a building, saying this can give us a steady supply of metal, um, but then there are no workers available because you have to balance it. You can't assign workers, but I mean you can, but it's not like say StarCraft or Warcraft or something where you build a worker. You have to do with the population you have. Um, so that's part of the challenges, but in the end, I didn't enjoy it. If all your residents die, the whole game is just ruined. It stopped, and you have to go back to a previous save. And this game had a absolutely useless autosave feature because I had that one winter I forgot to turn on um, the burners, so the houses were, or the tents, houses for some people were cold, and the people died, um, and the game was like, oh, uh, all your residents has died. Do you want to start over or continue? And I actually pressed continue because I thought, hey, I still have um, you still have the building, you still have the resources, and you keep constantly there's a steady flow of different refugees going like, hey, can we live here? And you can decline them, and you can accept. So I thought, hey, I'll just go. The next four can take over, and then we can build from there. But it didn't really seem to happen. It seemed to just perpetually loop because it kept doing the winter thing. There's like winter storms where you have to prepare for that. So then I went to the said, okay, I'll continue from there. I saw game had different autosaves, and the stupid game autosaves before your residents die. I don't know what that's about. So I had to go back to a manual save, which of course they are even further because who manual saves these days? We just don't. So that further took away my enjoyment of the game. It's easy to get stuck in a corner in this game when you're building things. Like for instance, I had the building that gets you concrete, requires concrete to be built, but I don't have any concrete. That's why I wanted to build the building, stuff like that. And that is really annoying because then you have to wait to get concrete from an alternative resource. Um, it was frustrating. And there's a happiness meter for your residents, and for some reason they kept being hungry, even though I had more food than I knew what to do with. There's a system, there's an overworld where you can have a little scouting party, go doing quest, and also establish contact with other, um, what do you call it, cities, not exactly, but refugees camp, survival campus, whatever. You can make contact, you can make trade. Um, I was even selling food. I didn't know what to do with it. It was weird. You will also keep having to click on repairing uh, structures. There's a building for auto repair, but it doesn't. It only auto repairs in a area, and you have to assign workers, and workers are until almost the very end very. It's important that you don't have too many workers over carriers because then they can't work. So workers are precious. Your adults in the in your village um, are precious, and too precious to just to keep building these auto repair buildings. So that was also very frustrating. And you also have to keep manually click on decontaminating structures. There's a radioactive element to this game, some pollution at least. And it doesn't punish you that much in resources and stuff. It's just you constantly have to keep clicking on it to keep pollution down. So you can establish trading route with other colonies, and you would kind of have to. There was a resource called like Fun Box. I never really figured out what it was, but you can only get it in the overworld, um, or by trading with either by looting abandoned campsites or trading with others. Um, and the fun thing is because you can eventually clean up the pollution in your camp, but that would just generate pollution, like you have 10 units of pollution. But I could sell my pollution to other survivors, and I don't think that was because it could be needed somewhere, like in, you say, radioactive getting electricity or something. I got near the end of all the tech trees, so I had all the high-end building before the game finished. I couldn't see any use of pollution, but I could sell it. That was quite fun. There was an overall mission, luckily. You're producing a bunker, but it takes forever, and some steps of the quest is saying, oh, just wait until you have more knowledge. And it has like 4 disciplines of knowledge, and it takes so long to build these. You have to build engineering sites in the overworld to get this level, this discipline of technology, and it's so slow. And there was a lot of things, not only with the main mission, but in general, there was a lot of things that were so poorly explained. I didn't know what to do, so I had to look it up on the internet. But I got it through. At the end, I had a pretty good established base. Raiders were not really a problem. Winters, electricity, storm, heats, whatever natural disasters, not a problem. I was just going through it, listening to podcast, watching Westworld on a second screen, just clicking and waiting for the final bunker to be built and the game to be over. It was quite a dull experience. I can't really recommend it. You should look into Frostpunk. Is another RPG survival that I find better because it had an update. It had kind of the same thing where you fight with the survivors and they don't want to. They're like, oh, I'm cold. Oh, do you want to pick up some wood that we can burn? I said, no, because I'm cold, and that's no fun. This game here, Surviving the Aftermath, is a lot of that. I didn't enjoy it. I'm having a very hard time recommending it. I think there's better things to play, I'm sure, and I hope to find some of that for the next time. For this, yeah, not really my cup of tea. Thank you for watching.